Welcome to my channel. My name is Emmy from Emmy Evolving. If this is your first time joining me, thank you for finding me. If this is not your first time, thank you for coming back. So, guys, we're about to have a conversation here. We're about to have a much needed conversation. I was having conversations with Soul while I was working out earlier today. And there were a lot of things that Soul has placed in my heart and on my mind that need to be spoken about. We need to have a very real conversation. One of the things that Soul reminded me, one of the things that Soul has placed in my mind very heavily, very prominently, is that I was given a platform for a reason. Okay. I have a platform for a reason, and I have the type of character that I have for a reason. This is a very, very real conversation. The spiritual community is out of control. It has been out of control for a very long time, and no one really, as far as I've seen, has had the courage or even the desire to begin correcting the behaviors that have poisoned what was once a very beautiful, beautiful thing from the inside out. People's behaviors are out of control, absolutely out of control. I'm going to show you guys some things that were posted on my social media account, on my TikTok account. Let me just see real quick. Let's see. There was someone, okay, we don't want this. We did not want that one. Um, all right. So we'll go ahead and start with this. Oops. Hold on, guys. I'm so sorry. Let me go ahead and reopen what needs to be opened. So it's this very needed conversation, very, very needed conversation. And unfortunately for this individual, you're going to be used as the example. You made these comments publicly. We will speak about it publicly. I'm being tasked by Soul at this point to be the person to have the difficult conversations, to correct the bad behavior, to create the opportunity for change for communities across the world. I am fearless for a reason. And I am so committed to justice for a reason. Now, I'm going to share this with you guys. This is an individual who knows me in no way, shape, or form. They saw a video online speaking about me in a very fictitious, intentionally malignant way, and they used it as an excuse to showcase their hatred. So let me show this. The user's name is SJ. They write, "It's sad how easily manipulated you are." They're responding to a community member who had commented something quite lovely on one of my videos on TikTok. And so they say, "It's sad how easily manipulated you are. This woman is a liar and a scammer," referring to me. "It sounds legit, but so do most lies. They all sound good in the beginning, but they're just lies. She knows nothing of any good." And, TikTok went ahead and withheld several of her comments on one video. And for some reason, Soul told me yesterday to go ahead and click on that little link that lets me see all the comments that are withheld. At which point I approved the comments and I stated, I approved your comment so the world can see what type of gullible, hateful person you are. Thanks for adding to the pile of evidence I'm gathering about your leader. Great job, minion. One of their other comments was lies. LOL, you know nothing about past lives and sirens. You're a scammer, babes. Pack it up and keep it moving because nobody is buying your evil anymore. Wish your BS classes and parasite bullcrap, evil human. This is someone I've never interacted with. Never interacted with. Well, here's the thing. Once people realize they're wrong, right? Once people begin being held accountable, they don't apologize in the spiritual community. That needs to change. We need to hold people accountable. The only way we change the pattern of abuse in the spiritual community is publicly holding people accountable for their behavior. Little did this person know, before I engage anything, Virgo baby, Virgo heavy in my chart, I screenshot everything first. Because guess what? And yes, I had a moment where I wanted to retaliate. I wanted to be hurtful and hateful. Hold up. Let me make sure. Um All right. So, here's me holding myself accountable, okay? For my own behavior. I guess they went and looked. I don't know if you guys can see that. I guess they went and looked to see what the heck I was talking about. What they did was they deleted their comment, put a bunch of laughing faces. And what I originally wrote, I did the same when I saw your video saying you're beautiful inside, and also the one celebrating your 1 year of sobriety. I hold myself accountable. Looking like there's still demons you need to address inside yourself to attack a stranger. At which point I realized what I was doing. I deleted all of it before posting. I will not be a mirror of lesser consciousness. And I went ahead and I typed, I wish peace for your heart. May you heal your wounds. Type faster, girl. So that you will pause next time before you attack a stranger without knowing the truth. I was working out. So I look, right? She deleted all of her comments. She deleted all of her comments. You cannot hide anything on social media because people like me exist. People like me who are hell bent on no longer allowing any abuse, not towards me, not towards my community, not towards anything. So God put it on my heart. What needs to be done? Aside from having this conversation, what needs to be done? We need to start holding people accountable. You, as people who know better, when you hold someone accountable, not engaging them in argument, because really, that's what's wanted, argument, this back and forth, someone to take their anger and hatred out on. The reality is this: I've done nothing to any of those people. There are so many videos that have been created about me that are full of lies and pure hatred, a complete stranger to them, and have not done anything outside of recording videos, downloading the videos, screenshotting all the comments. I've done nothing. I've encouraged my community to also do nothing. I was wrong in that. What we need to do, and I'm not saying for me, like, don't do this for me. Do this because it's finally time for us to make a decision to change the way the spiritual community is. When you see someone's content is intentionally hateful, intentionally hurtful, made specifically to incite others who are hateful to attack someone, that needs to be reported. Video content that is created to intentionally harm someone's emotional and mental well being needs to be reported. It does not matter who it is. Do not engage that. Do not comment. It needs to be reported. That is bullying. Comments that degrade others, those need to be reported. They need to be. We need to start doing our part in changing the way these spiritual communities function. I have been the recipient of so much abuse from spiritual communities. I don't even consider myself spiritual. I haven't in many, many years because I saw exactly what happens in those spiritual communities. They gang up on people. You get the queen bee calling the shots, telling everyone who to attack. For what? For what? So that you can feel powerful over other people? The mark of a true leader is their capacity to understand what they are telling their community to engage in. The mark of a true leader is their capacity and desire to steer their community away from hardship, ugliness, hateful behaviors. Our community needs to spread. It needs to spread. The way we function within this community needs to be the standard that is used for all spiritual communities. Every single last one. Every single last one. When we begin holding these people who are the gurus, who are the leaders, who are the teachers of these communities accountable for their behaviors, change is initiated. Now, as I was speaking with Soul, I said, okay, you want me to do that? Okay, I'll have that difficult conversation. And then, of course, the enabling empath in me, I know what happens when this happens. The really toxic people will have tremendous amounts of reports because all their content is nothing but spewing hate. Their accounts will be taken down. Their livelihood will be taken away. And so I hesitated to have this conversation with you guys. I'm the type of person that never wants anyone to suffer, especially not financially. I want everyone to have a sense of stability, to be able to afford their basic living expenses at the very least, if not more than just the basic. But that's out of my hands. When we use those type of excuses to allow us to enable the perpetuation of abusive behaviors, we are complicit in the abuse. I was given platforms across all social media for a reason. It's not just to do what appears to be tarot readings. It's not just to do expedites. It's to speak the truth fiercely with a solid voice, unafraid, because I stand in the light of my truth. I stand for those who are maltreated because what? Because you can't control them, because you're jealous of them, because what? Because they don't know any better. So now I'm doing my part. I'm speaking fiercely. I'm speaking unapologetically. I'm not speaking about any person specifically. I'm speaking about the behaviors in the community at large. It needs to be corrected. And it will not be corrected by just one person. It must be done by all of us. When we stop being okay with this type of abusive behavior, they have no choice but to modify their behavior. They have no choice but to begin holding themselves accountable. No one who has tarnished my public reputation with zero provocation has issued an apology to me, has issued a retraction of their heinous accusations of me. They simply take it down. Oh, I made a mistake. Let me take it down. It's all good. I just deleted it. No, you need to fucking apologize. You need to correct the lies that you furthered. I'm not talking just about for me. I'm not talking just about for me. Y'all, I'm a big girl. I'm a big girl. I can handle myself. I'm not tripping. There will be consequences. As I've stated before, there will be consequences, legal consequences for those who are involved in the attempt to destroy my business. Any good business owner, any good sitting CEO or president has the obligation to do that. I am obligated to do that, to defend the assets of my companies. Me and my likeness, my public image, that is an asset of all my companies that must be defended. And it will be legally. These are not empty threats. This is a declaration of what's already been initiated. Here's the thing. For most people in the spiritual communities, they don't have the luxury of being able to take legal action. Do you guys? You don't understand the gravity of what this does to a person unless you've lived through it yourself. You have no idea of the devastation. And when you participate in this, let me just hold my tongue before I say hurtful things. Let me hold myself accountable for the way this is triggering me. Let me exercise some responsibility over the words that I speak. I will simply reiterate. You have no idea the gravity of devastation an individual experiences when they are on the receiving end. I know how it affected me, and I'm strong as fuck. I have the ability to partition my emotions, shut them off. I have the ability to see clearly what these difficult experiences are trying to draw out of me, and that they are allowed by soul to cultivate aspects of me, to prepare me for an even higher degree of visibility. My elevated emotions are for the people who receive this type of treatment and have no idea why. They don't have the stamina to navigate such a difficult period. We got to do something about this. If people can't learn how to treat others with dignity, at the very least, how to shut their fucking mouth, how to pause their fucking fingers, well, then let them learn through the consequence of losing their platforms, through the consequence of legalities. Let them learn. May the entire world learn how to return back to a space of being a human, having your humanity intact, and just being a damn good person. I'd ask, is it really that hard? Apparently it is. Apparently it is. Don't get me wrong, I am not a saint. I see things online and I feel emotions and I have my own judgments of people. Ooh, that's bad. Oh, ew. Do I comment? Do I instigate? Absolutely not. Because at the end of the day, even with my judgments of a situation that I'm not a part of and don't know the full details to, I know that I don't want to be a part of that type of nasty behavior. I remind myself, girl, you don't know what's actually going on. This is a very triggering thing because you've been on the receiving end of some bullshit behaviors for no fucking reason. That's why you're triggered. You're not triggered because you know that this is the truth that is being shared. You're triggered because of what you remember people doing to you. Don't join that shit. Don't participate in that. Don't comment. Don't comment. And every time I get that feeling, every time I get triggered and I see something and I'm just like, oh, and I keep my mouth shut and I pause my fingers. Within a few hours, maybe a few days, a video comes out. Ah, I knew that motherfucker was a liar. Damn, almost commented. Damn. Yeah. Good thing I kept my opinion to myself. We have to make a decision as individuals and as a community. We have to make a decision. There's only two choices: to allow this to perpetuate and exist in a state of fear, tiptoeing around those who are bullies, actual bullies, those who take delight in forming groups to try and bully people because they can't take you head on by themselves. It will take several of them and tremendous effort to try you. Uh, so you could either continue that, or you can make a decision to no longer participate in it. You can make a decision to be part of the group that corrects behaviors, that holds people accountable. You don't have to engage with anything. If something clearly violates community guidelines, anti bullying guidelines, then it needs to be reported. It does. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, have I ever created content that was intentionally to bully someone? Because I want to hold myself accountable. I don't want to be a hypocrite. I even asked my husband, I couldn't think of anything that I've posted, anything that's been recorded. And my life has pretty much been recorded for the last 7 years. Have I posted anything to bully anyone, that was my intention, to hurt and harm? No. I asked my husband. He thought about it. He said, well, sometimes you speak angrily. Yeah. Yes. But has what I've said in an angry state, in an elevated emotion, has that been intended to bully someone and send people, my community, to attack that person? Never. I speak passionately. I'm very guilty of speaking passionately about things that are very upsetting to me. I speak in general terms about multiple things I remember witnessing or living through. I'm not justifying my behavior. I'm clarifying there is a major difference. This is not about being afraid of speaking openly. This is not about you needing to water down your message and not speak with passion and conviction. This is about an intention to harm another person, to destroy their online business. I am not the only person that's been the recipient of this type of behavior and treatment. This is something I see all the time in spiritual communities. I see it all the time. That's why I don't be messing with no spiritual nothing. I'm just like, I'm good. I'm so good of all that. All that. Like, I'm good. I know how those communities function. I know exactly how they function. The spiritual community is out of control. It's going to require people who have the courage to be stewards, to help guide them back into their proper place, a place of simply speaking about their experiences, sharing what they've learned, being helpful to others. And if you have malignant intentions, malignant feelings, keep that shit to yourself. Keep it to yourself. Work on your wounds. Work on the part of you that's been harmed to the degree that you want to harm other people. Using that one person as an example, and this is all publicly accessible. All of this is publicly accessible. Okay. Let's go ahead. They had all that hateful stuff to say, right? Isn't that right, SJ? Let's go ahead and look. Here is the TikTok account. What's interesting, Miss SJ? Look at this. Love is love. Right. Right. So a dignified existence is only okay for specific groups. I mean, this rainbow flag right here tells me you're aware of how specific groups, specific people have been unfairly targeted. Yet you participate in that kind of behavior, that mob mentality. Oh, okay. Okay, Miss SJ. Let's go ahead and let's look at, because their YouTube account was also linked. Let's go ahead and look at that. Okay. Let's see. At least I'm not ugly on the inside. Hold on. And if any of you know SJ, Let her know she got the attention she was seeking. Let's look at this. Hold on. That and this. So, okay. So remember that statement, okay? Miss SJ made that statement. At least I'm not ugly on the inside. Let's see. Is this a beautiful thing to write about someone? To attack another person simply for enjoying one of my videos, and then to make all of these accusations based on nothing but lies. How about this? Calling someone an evil human, someone you don't know. Is that beautiful on the inside? Am I bullying you by showing your words and showcasing your behaviors? Because then they'll turn around and they'll say, you're bullying me. Is that bullying? I'm simply letting your words speak for themselves. Your words are speaking for you. Let's go ahead and look at another video, a screenshot of another video on their YouTube account. 1 year, this is what it looks like. 1 year clean and sober. I commend your sobriety off chemical dependency. Oh, let me put it on the screen. 1 year clean and sober, right? Right. As I was saying, I commend your sobriety off of chemical dependency. That is a beautiful accomplishment. Despite you being hateful towards me, I commend you for that. Beautiful accomplishment. Have you addressed yet your addiction to hatefulness and drama? Seems like that's an addiction you have not yet addressed. Serious question. Very serious question. I don't know what kind of person you are because I haven't interacted with you. From what I've seen, coming from your own fingers, there's an assumption you have an addiction to drama and hatefulness that needs to be addressed. That is a wound I don't want you to continue suffering with your entire life. And secondly, you seem to be delusional about the kind of comments that you leave. They are inappropriate, they are hateful, they are hurtful and intentionally harmful. There's nothing beautiful about that. And I'm holding you accountable. You can't just erase it and laugh. It's not a funny thing. It's not a funny thing. And if you need a reminder, where is it? Is it this? Yeah. Let me go ahead and put this on the screen as well. All right, let's make it bigger. When you were called out for your abusive nature, and yes, you were abusive towards me. Let me put this on the screen for my community to see, because we're holding you accountable. I'm not encouraging anyone to attack you. I'm personally holding you accountable for the way you treated me. This was your response. Laughter. Do you find abusing people funny? There's no other thing for me to assume, because that was your only response. There was no private message like, you know what? I didn't realize. I'm sorry. There was no public apology either. There was no public correction of your own behaviors. This is about holding people accountable. The spiritual community must be changed at this point. It must be changed. For far too long, too many toxic people have infiltrated the spiritual communities, and they have spread their toxicity and normalized their abusive behaviors. This channel, this video alone, is going to further shadow ban me because I use the appropriate word to describe accurately the actions that I am showing you. It is abuse. It is abuse. And I will not tolerate it anymore. Not from anyone. If you are speaking truth, factual truth, because I've been a shitty person, hey, that's my behavior. I have to own up to that. I have to take accountability for that. And if I've harmed you intentionally, yes, hold me accountable. If I have harmed you unintentionally and that was not my intention, but that's what happened, I owe you an apology. I'm sorry. I did not realize. I did not know. I should have kept my mouth shut. I should not have spoken on things that I have no idea about. That is the appropriate actions. You don't just delete it. You don't just laugh it off. It's not funny. If you don't want, and I'm speaking in general terms, if you don't want to be shown in public as an abusive person, don't make abusive comments. Don't make abusive videos. It's very simple. It's very, very simple. Let's see what you guys have been saying. Oh, wow. I don't know those terms. I don't know those terms, Nova. Um, and as someone who is external to the trans, lesbian, and whatever else communities, I don't believe it is my place to comment on any of that. That is not a struggle that I have experienced. I have many, many friends in those communities. I have witnessed them struggle. Um, I simply want a dignified existence for everyone. So I don't want this video to be received as though it's addressing one person. Yes, I'm using one person as an example, a very clear example. I want to be very clear in my communications and what I'm trying to communicate. This message is a broad spectrum message meant to address the entirety of the spiritual community. I want to make that very clear. Those people who are guilty of these types of behaviors, they will identify themselves and they will be offended. They will say, I am intentionally bullying them for speaking factual truth, that something was done to me, that this is my emotional stance, this is my logical stance, this is my opinion as a person who chooses to not allow someone else to diminish my dignified existence. That's bullying. I refuse to allow someone who has attempted to victimize me to then turn around and gaslight me into believing I am the actual bully. I think the fuck not. We need to stand together as a community that is not part of the spiritual community. We are just a community of people. ready to evolve beyond what we have continued to struggle through in our lives, ready for the next part of our development, our personal development, and our development as a community, and eventually our development as a collective whole. I have said for many years already, our community is the way shower. We are here to show the way out of that toxic cycle. We have to. We have to. I'm not asking you to be vocal in your defense of me. Again, I'm a big girl. Oh, guys, let me show you what kind of big girl I am. Because it wouldn't be me if I didn't mess around for a second. Y'all, let me show you what kind of big girl I am. Bada bing, bada boom. Ooh, girl. Hold on. let me airdrop this. Okay. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Wait, what happened? Okay. 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 Who's a big girl? Who's a big girl? Okay. For me, I'm big. So I'm not like a beefcake. I'm more like a beef slider, right? I'm not a full patty. I'm like slider size. Anyways, I'm a big girl. Look at this. Look at this. I'm just saying. Oh, girl. Girl. I'm saying. I think if these toxic people just worked out, they would be able to burn up all of their toxicity without taking it out on other people. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, look at those delts. What? Okay, that's enough. Ahem. Ahem. People need to work on themselves. They need to work on themselves. They do. And they won't work on themselves until they have no other choice. I'm not here encouraging our community to destroy someone's livelihood. That is not okay. I'm here encouraging you to hold people accountable. And if their behaviors lead to the destruction of what they're trying to build, if what they are trying to build is laying on the foundation of abusive behaviors towards others, well, then that's on them. That's on them. Now is the time for us to choose to change the spiritual community. It's time. It's so much time already. Like hell of time. It's hella much time. I don't even know how to emphasize it any further. It is time. It's time. So, what should we do? What do you guys feel needs to be done? Have you experienced this? Have you been the recipient of this type of treatment? Here's your chance. Let your voice be heard. Let your story be known. We got like 15 minutes because I got to start a session. Exactly. Yes, blissful. If they actually take the warnings, it won't have to get that far. And you know what these people do? If you hold them accountable by simply warning, like, hey, this is abusive behavior, this is bullying, they'll simply block you. I've seen this happen many times. Not only will they block you, they'll try and do dark magic on you. For what? Why? Well, because how dare you hold them accountable? I've seen multiple people do this. Okay. I have seen multiple people do this, make these um, different types of threats, right? They're threatening to curse you. Oh, well, guess what? Here, excuse me. 1 second. Let me put this up on the screen. Let me make sure it's the right image. Okay, it is. All right, here goes. I'm having an event on the 29th, and maybe I'll do this event again at some point. Who knows? Let's see what our community needs. Here goes. It's a Black Magic Revocation event. It's not going to be broadcast on any of my public platforms. This is a private event. During this private event, for those who purchase the minimum ticket, I will be doing a binding removal, a black magic armor, and a wicked intention shield for all people who attend the event. It's a $33 event. And these funds will go towards the Emmy Evolving Legal Fund. For those who choose the enhanced ticket, not only will you receive those three things, and let me tell you, if you purchase those things during expedites, you'll spend maybe close to $300. If you purchase those three things in a private session, you'll probably spend over 2,000. 33 bucks, you get all three. For those who want the enhanced event, I will be personally customizing all of the work that's done to you. You will receive those three things in addition to receiving all of the corrective work that will repair whatever was done when someone was doing black magic on you. Chakra work, shield work, everything, everything. Repairs to your morphogenetic template, repairs to your core code, all of that. And it will be customized to you. Whatever your higher self instructs me to do, that is what will be done. Because I'm tired of it. I am so tired of everyone living in fear of what these wicked people will do. Guess what? Not only did God give me a platform on multiple social media platforms, um, God also gave me the ability to undo all of that shit. And I will. Abso-fucking-lutely. I will. And no one can stop me from undoing it for you. No one. No one. They better just be thankful that I'm not doing it back to them. They better just be grateful that all I'm doing is repairing what they did to you. I am so far beyond done with the way people have conducted themselves. So far beyond done. And you guys need to be done with it too. You guys need to be at a point where, like, hell no. Hell no. That is not okay with me. I am not okay with that. No, I will not agree to any of it. Hell no. You guys have to find your courage. You are part of a powerful community. And the person at the head of the community, I will defend you. I will defend you. I will shield you. That is my function, anyways. I'm not doing anything beyond what God created me to do. I've been aware of that for much of my life. I function as a shield for most people. It's time for us to change all of this. It's very much time. Not everyone in the spiritual community is bad, but those rotten apples, they're rotting others. They need to be rooted out already. They need to be held accountable, publicly held accountable for their behaviors. And if you feel like someone's behavior needs to be called out, you need to have evidence of that. You need to have a screenshot of the comment. You need to have a screen recording or a download of the video. This is not about us versus them. This is about us, period. Us. Those of us who have elevated sensitivity to the atrocities, to the injustice, to the abuse. This is about us serving our purpose. This is about us holding space for those who need space held for them. This is about us no longer allowing behaviors that should have never been allowed in the first place. It's time for us to rise up and take our rightful place. Our rightful place is a steward. Our rightful place is to hold people accountable for their own actions so that hopefully they will learn those behaviors will no longer be tolerated. If you want to remain publicly visible, you need to correct your behaviors yourself. You need to be mindful of the way you behave. I am not a perfect person, and I'm not trying to present myself as such. I am not holier than thou. I'm simply a person who has a capacity to see with clarity everything that's been going on. So I want to reiterate, this is not about ganging up on one person. This video is not even about one person. I'm speaking in general terms about a behavior that's been allowed to become so prevalent. It's so normalized. No more. No more. Enough is enough. No more. Hurt people hurt people. People should take a look at the why of their emotions and understand where it stems from so they can heal themselves instead of letting their wounds fester and stop spreading disease. I was once told something by Michael. I was in the process of shutting down over some difficult circumstance that I was living through. I don't even remember what it was anymore. But his words stuck with me. He said, I had no right to bleed all over people who were never even present when the wound was inflicted, when I was cut. And that stuck with me. That stuck with me. It is not okay to cut people who weren't present when you were cut yourself. It is not okay to not contain appropriately the biohazard that is your wound. You know, when you allow yourself to bleed all over the place, that's a biohazard. It's a biohazard. It needs to be cleaned up in a specific way. It is not our job as a community to play cleanup crew for something that we are not properly trained to do. And just because you have empathy for someone does not mean you should enable their toxicity. I'm very blessed to have really, really amazing people in my life who can pull me aside and be like, girl. And I'll be like, oh, I know, I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to apologize. I'm going to apologize. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have said that. I have the ability to hold myself accountable. But even with that, sometimes, and it's rare, but it has happened. Sometimes I lose sight of important things and I speak in a way that I shouldn't. And when someone holds me accountable, I'm quick to admit, yes, you know what? I did do that. You're right. It was inappropriate. I could have expressed that in a different way. I need to apologize. I need to apologize. We need to first apologize to ourselves for forcing ourselves to tolerate poor treatment, to tolerate that type of environment. And then we need to hold other people accountable. If they don't have the courage to publicly apologize, at the very least, they can take that content down. At the very least, they should take that content down. They should delete that comment. You see, there was another gal when all of this hoopla started. She made a scathing video. It was a full-on video. I don't even know who she is. Said the same exact thing as that person I showed on the screen in her video. She took the video down. I didn't even engage her. She must have seen a video letting her know what's actually happening, and she took it down. Did she need to be made an example of? No, because she didn't think it was funny. She self-corrected her behavior. But Emmy, she didn't apologize to you. She took it down. That's her awareness that her behavior was inappropriate. For me, you know, I guess that's enough. That's enough. I didn't even have to engage her. She took it down herself. She held herself accountable. I don't need to be pushing that any further. Do what is appropriate. You don't have to be overly excited to have a reason to correct someone, because that's a symptom of toxicity as well. Do what is appropriate. Only what is appropriate, what is necessary, what is called for. Above all things, keep your integrity intact. Operate from a space of elevated morals and ethics. Never allow yourself to be a reflection of a lesser consciousness. And if you only take one thing away from this video, I want you to take this final sentence with you and keep it with you for the rest of your life. Always keep it sovereign. Because to be a sovereign, it's to be the utmost authority in your life. You are in full control of yourself, your behaviors, your words. Always keep it sovereign. I gotta go, guys. Please give this video a thumbs up, spread it out, share it out, make clips of it on, I think you could do that on YouTube. I don't mind if you make clips of the parts that inspire you the most and put it on your TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Please make sure to tag me or tag this video, link it back to this video so they can see the full conversation. It's time for us to take our rightful place. You see, I'm not just a leader. I'm a leader in a community of other leaders. We're all leaders. All of us. So we got this. We're going to be changing everything. It's going to take a little bit of time, but we're going to be changing it. It has to change because our community will no longer be allowing it at all. At all. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day. And I hope this talk really encourages you to find that courage to speak up for yourself and to speak up